Life. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Today we have another special rider and guest for our interview. He comes out USA. He loves to ride the one wheel, and we have here Charlie Brown. How are you, my friend?
Hello.
Or one wheel.
I am fabulous. How are you today?
I'm very good, my friend. Thank you so much for coming
Awesome.
here. First of all, like always, present yourself for the community, for the people who don't know you, or the people who's going to see this interview later on, or the persons are coming. Where you come from, what is your name, what you write, how do you start it, a little from your background, and then I go to
Great.
the YouTube. Let's go.
All right. Well, I'm Charlie Brown. I live in North Carolina. I grew up in North Carolina in the United States. 46 years old. I served in ministry with teenagers, with youth for about 20 years in various different churches. So my background is in professional ministry, working with teenagers. And six years
Wow, my
ago,
friend.
6 years ago, I was like 40 years old, kind of like feeling a little bit set in routine, I guess, as life will do sometimes, and was looking for a new adventure. And a friend of mine that was up in Chicago sent me a YouTube video of somebody riding a one wheel, and I just thought it looked so cool and kind of put it on the back burner and was like, that's not something that I could do. Like I'd never seen one in real life or whatever. And a couple months later, I just, it kept coming back, popping up in my mind, and pulled the trigger, ordered one, had it shipped to me, figured out how to ride it. Couple months later, I found some other people who were riders as well and jumped in with them. But I've been riding pretty much every day since I really got the hang of it and started
that
riding.
is
I
that
just
is always.
I was hooked, and I mean I'm still like there's still room to grow. Like every single day, I'm always out there riding that one wheel and enjoying it and pushing it and figuring out new things. And um, gosh, it just opened up a whole new world. So it started as a little adventure and has become something that's really um, become a lifestyle.
Do you, my friend, Charles, before we continued, do you try it before buying, or you buy it and try it?
I bought it and tried it. Like it came in the box and I opened it up, and you got like the manual has a couple of little pictures to
Uh-huh.
to help you get started. And I'm like, just figuring it out in my driveway, and I crashed immediately.
That was like me the
Within like
first
the
time.
first 30 seconds, I was bleeding. But also I was like ready to get back up and try again. Like let's keep going. I missed the part about needing to come off with both feet, and so I left one foot on the board, and it took me to Splitsville, and got back up and just kept going, figuring it out. But man,
What
it's been
was
an
the first
awesome
machine
adventure.
that you buy it?
The first one was a plus,
Ooh,
so I started on a one wheel plus.
yeah, of course. The range, the power of the batteries don't have nothing to do with the new
No,
machines.
no, I'm currently riding a GTS now, and
Mhm.
pretty much every time I'm riding it, I think about how night and day that plus is compared to the GTS with the power and stuff. So
I think is a great machine when you see the difference from when we start the plus and now we are coming like the GTS. I think is like two different worlds. Don't have
oh, it's
nothing to do. Do you like the GTS?
I love it. I do. Yeah, it's the most confident I've ever been in a board. I just I have not ridden Vesk though, so I have no perspective with that. I mean, I've ridden a little bit, but I mean, I haven't invested enough
we are
just
not
hopping
here
on a
to
friend's board.
we are not here to make the vesks or not vesks. I'm
Yeah,
just here to see a great rider like you are. I see your videos and I was delighted to invite you to come here. And I think it's important for us to have riders. Where do you live, my friend? Let's go from the beginning. Where do you live? Do you have lots of riders, or are you a lone rider?
I live in a place in the foothills of North Carolina, so I'm really right at the base of the mountains. So it's Western North Carolina. It's a very central location. The town's
Mhm.
called Hickory, and Hickory, North Carolina, has some of the best trails and greenways. And I mean, I'm in like the promised land. Like it just, and that's where I grew up. I moved away for a while, came back. I came back with the one wheel when I returned back to Hickory, and Hickory was just like the mountain biker community embraces us. We do have a community. So I started a local group after experiencing Oak City Shred Fest in Raleigh. The first one was like my first time ever riding with anybody, and so I just loaded up my truck, went out to this adventure to see what would happen, and I met the most amazing community there. Some really cool people, good friends that are good friends to this day. But you know, that's before that, every single mile was by myself, and so that was like a 2 years of riding almost just by myself and not really encountering any other one wheels. And then I went to Oak City Shred Fest. I learned a lot about community, learned about the joy of riding with other people, and then came home and literally within 2 weeks of coming back, I ran into another one wheeler out on our local trails. And I mean, he was like, "What? Like, where have you been?" And I was, I'm the same way. I'm like, "There's another one wheeler," and we started a group in Facebook, a local group, and started group rides. And like we ride every Tuesday night now. It's called Foothills One Wheel.
Mhm.
That's the group, and we have an Instagram and all that stuff too. But just a great little local community. We have other people come in from outside, and join our groups, our group rides, and we do trail days. And it's just the weather's getting just about right for all of that again. So we've just started our first real good trail days of the year, and I'm excited. We have great. We're like I said, we're in the promised land. I think other people could argue that they are too, but we have a really good place to ride. So
Just before we continue, we will start talking in private, and you have a podcast too. Let's go directly to that. That way, I'm going to leave the link for everybody to see it. I think it's important. Talk a little more about your podcast. I'm going to put it now here for everybody to see it. That way,
there it is.
a little more about this, because I think maybe you can reach more persons around you or in USA. Tell us a little more for everybody to
Yeah.
know.
Okay. So right at the beginning of this year, this is a 2025 thing for me. But I was working on it a little bit before, had the idea to create this, but it's called Float Tales, and I'm basically like going back and telling stories all the way back. So some of what you've already heard, but like expanded stories. My whole one wheel journey from ordering that board, and I'm kind of like just taking people through the process because I've learned so much. I've encountered some of the most amazing community and amazing people, and the adventure, learning how to fall again, and get back up and there's just so much stuff. And so I just figured, I felt inspired by my one wheel journey. And then also, I've got this ministry background, and I really wanted to figure out a way to incorporate those stories with the things that I've learned along my faith journey as well. Ways to kind of grow into living our best life. And I think, the one wheel has opened a lot of doors for me that I, 10 years ago would have never imagined were there. And so these episodes, this Float Tales thing is just basically kind of sharing that journey with others, and hopefully inspiring an inspiring message that inspires others to
So,
do
guys,
great things as well.
I just want to share for you guys to understand, when you come to the YouTube channel from him, just go to the podcasts, that you go directly here. and you're going to see the list of all his podcasts. Then you're not going to miss anyone. There is any one of them that is more special for you, or the first one, or how can you describe it, your little journey in your podcast?
Yeah,
Now that
so I mean, they're all different. But you know, when you start with episode, I'll start with episode one. You know, it's basically me, you know, sharing that I was at a point in life where I needed something more. You know, like it wasn't. I wasn't in a place in life where I didn't have like all of the things that I necessarily needed, but like there was still something missing, you know. And then, you know, my journey of deciding to spend that money and order this machine that I didn't know if I would be able to ride, and you know, kind of stepping into the unknown with that. You know, the
you are a
first
brave
episode
guy, my
is
friend. No, you
what?
are a brave guy. I always recommend for
Yeah,
everybody, if you want to try one wheel, please try it before you buy it. You've shown that you are a brave person.
I think
Okay,
it's,
this
I agree with you. It's a great idea to try it before you buy it, but I didn't have the option. There weren't any anywhere around back
okay,
then,
in
you know.
this time that we start, was not too much options, was not AUCs, was not skateboards, electric skateboards, was not so much bikes. And I think, like me, I buy the V1. For me, was like I said, okay, that is amazing. Let's try it. And I was riding like an animal, and I say, why is that? This is pushing me back all the time. Why? And I said, and I was trying to get speed. And I think that was the same mistake with you the first time, and most of the riders in the beginning, because you don't read the manual. And then
Nope.
I tried to push more, and one moment, nosedive, of course. And then I was just seeing birds here in my head. and, so, and
Yeah.
that was, I think today there is more options. In our time, I think was different. Charlie, it was not so much. The only option was the one wheel plus, no vesks, no nothing. You just have that
Nope.
one. That was the only thing you have. Or you go to the V1, but the V1 was a small motor and don't have nothing to do with the plus. The plus was a big upgrade in this side.
Yeah, it was.
And for you, my friend, when you start, you stay with the plus. You try all of the one wheels, or you change from the plus directly to the GT, or what was the upgrade for you?
I had the plus for probably about 2 years, and you know, I was maxing it out all the time. You know, I mean, if there had been haptic back then, you would have been hearing me just buzzing around everywhere. And so I finally was like, okay, you know, this is, I think for a while there, it's like, you know, I don't know if this is going to catch. Like, I don't know if it's going to stick. So you're not really wanting to spend the extra money. And, you know, I remember getting to this point where I was like, I'm not going to stop riding a one wheel, you know, so I might as well get an XR too. So I ordered an XR, and I was doing a lot more trail then. So I was running through the battery pretty quick. And so I had both of those boards, and I would ride them back and forth. And then leave them parked, you know, charging in my truck, leave one charging, hop on the other one, go out, then come back and switch. And I was a pre-order with the GT and got to play with the activation issues. Got my first Ghost
Mm-hmm.
that had to send the board back and get a new one. And then
That was
I've got
bad.
8,000 miles on my GT right now. And I have, and then I got the GTS a couple months after it came out. I wasn't a pre-order for that. And I've got about 7,500 miles on my GTS right now. So I
Wow.
got 3,000 on the Plus and 6,500 on the XR. So I've loved all those boards so far.
My friend, like I always tell this to everybody, and sometimes the people don't understand it. I have lots of interviews, and I think sometimes it's so bad for us to go Vesk one wheel. And I think if you love something, it's good for you. Enjoy it. I know I have so many friends that they love the one wheel, and they are so happy. And there's other guys who like now the Vesk. It's okay. I think that is the good thing for all of us. If you are having fun, don't change. If you are okay, if is everything working perfect, let it be. For me, I have to upgrade because I'm a very big guy, and the Vesk was something that in this time was the beginning of the GTS, and was this ghosting, and I was like, but for me, is like the big thing for me is the One Wheel is something very special. I'm listening to you, I'm seeing myself. The One Wheel is sometimes you cannot describe it. The love that you have. Sometimes I ride with my friends with AUCs, and they say, Nelson, why you are with the One Wheel? And I say, what I do with the One Wheel, I cannot do with the AUC or do with the skateboard. It's just this sensation of freedom. And I look to you, where you are. You come from a lone rider. Now today you have a small group and you have one friend. But for a lone riders, that is when you show how much love do you have for the product you have. Because I think that is the beautiful thing. In your podcasts, what you pretend of this podcast? What is to just to tell your story, or you want to integrate then stories from other riders who come with you and are present in your journey? What you pretend to do in the future with this podcast? Because I think it's nice to see podcasts more and more and more.
Yeah. I my vision for the podcast, I'm starting out, telling these stories and relating them back to like inspirational messages from my own faith background and my beliefs. And I definitely have talked to several different riders that I know about doing interviews and stuff like that. I've got plans to bring people in.
Wow, that will be fantastic, my friend.
And
do it.
We need more perspectives. Like I feel like I'm learning right now, as I'm here with you. You're showing and teaching me. But I think it'd be great to get some other perspectives in there as well. And
we need
just
more.
So much.
We need more.
I agree.
Because the big problem for me, my friend, I always tell everybody looks to me and say, Nelson, you are doing this. And I said, there is nobody doing this. Or you do it for the love. Because if you are, because of the clicks, then you are over. We are not a big community, so big that we're going to have to say it. But we need persons with passion, can bring other persons, that we can grow this community. And in the future, close to you, maybe you're going to find lots of riders close to you, to your city, that they are alone riders, that they can go to your podcast and you just listen to the story from them. And that way is going to bring more persons and more persons. I'm always the first person to say, Nelson cannot speak good English. Please, the guys who are out there, if you love this sport, doesn't matter, AUC, doesn't matter, do it. Start with your friends. I'm coming to 400 interviews. That is not a joke. And I don't stop because I don't see not too much people doing. And I'm interested in your broadcast because I think that is something that it will be good for the future, for our community and for you, of course, the two of them.
Well, I mean, we've got to, I feel like we found something really special, and I've found something really special in the One Wheel and in the community that's being built around it. And and I want to share it, I want to share that with people. And, the One Wheel, like you said, it may not be for everybody. But there's something out there for each person who's sitting in a place where they're just like, I need a little extra adventure. There's something like a One Wheel, and there are new communities and new people to meet. And I mean, it's a big world and there's a lot of amazing stuff out there. And I I am a one wheel evangelist. Like I can talk about the one wheel all day long.
Mhm.
I will get people riding. If somebody says and stops you, you probably had this too, where they're like, "Oh man, I could never do that." I'm like, "You want to try?" And I'll let them feel it out, and see how great it is. Because I just it's that incredible of a tool. But it's not just that you can like basically surf anywhere or whatever. It's not just the feeling. It's not just it's the access and the perspective. I just got back. Back in February, I went to Miami for Stokebird,
Of
and I've
course,
been
my
every
friend.
year since they started doing Stokebird. Awesome event. But I had been to Miami a couple of times before earlier in my life, and was miserable trying to get around that city in a vehicle, in a car. And I remember going down there for that first Stokebird and being on a one wheel and just cruising through the city. And it's a total different thing when you're not stuck in traffic and, you're just cruising. Beautiful place. And I'll tell people a lot of times, like it gives you access to be able to see the world and to float through the world from a totally different perspective. And it's a beautiful perspective, you know?
Miami is
So
great, my friend. I
yeah.
remember was a guy. I don't know his name. He was here in the interview. He was riding the one wheel there in Miami, and he said that is the best way for me to ride in Miami because it's impossible. It's like a crazy city, lots of traffic, lots of uh, and I was just looking to him and I said, "Wow, that is amazing." But my friend, I think like this: what you are telling is the perfect thing. But what you're going to get with this podcast, I'm going to tell you the most important thing. What I get from this podcast is knowledge. I learned so much from the other riders, from other persons. Sometimes you are like, oh, you feel like you're not from this world because the guy is telling you something so simple and so easy that you said, oh, I never listen, or I'm disconnected from the world, or what. And you learn so much from the other riders that you just say, I have to continue to do this. That is a learning process. You are learning with all the people who comes here. And that's why if you have to continue. I'm looking to other broadcasts here, and this is about 3 days ago, and I think that is nice. Sitting, having a talk, yeah, that is the only thing. But with me, don't work because I'm in Europe, and most of the riders in USA, and for you guys is easier to do that.
Yeah.
I have some
Yeah.
plans to do some things in the future, but is not something. But I think this way, how you doing? You're having a chat, you are having a talk, and that way you can invite a friend. And sometimes, believe me, I can tell you like this, my opinion. Sometimes the people say, "Oh, Nelson, well, you want to bring me to the podcast? Nobody knows me." I said, they're going to know you now. That is the important thing. And I know other persons who came to the live stream and they say, Nelson, before I was a lone rider, then I found now friends close to me. And with the broadcast, was able for me to have new friends and new rides. And I think that is going to be good for you too, my friend. I think that is the
Great.
important
Yeah.
thing is for us to have that contact and learn and meet new persons. And it's just amazing. You're going to love it. Don't stop doing. If you are starting now, do it. Invite your friends in the beginning for you to learn a little more. And then when you have everything, it's going to come like a conversation, and it's going to be. I'm having a conversation. For me, it's so easy today that I just want to meet the persons. But I want to go to other parts that the broadcast. You have a broadcast. You have your Instagram. Let's change here. You have your Instagram that you have lots of videos too, and I'm going to leave the link for all of you out there. What is where do you post more for everybody to understand?
I'm posting pretty much everything on Instagram.
Okay.
And then, and I've got my Instagram account, and then I'm posting stuff on Facebook. Um, the podcasts and stuff are on YouTube, but they're also on all your, Spotify and Apple Podcasts, all your major podcast stuff. I've got just
Mm-hmm.
the audio for that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm starting to throw up more shorts on YouTube, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
putting a lot into my stories. Some shorter things for people to just be able to
Yeah.
catch and see, with some encouraging messages as well. I really want to just inspire people to, make the most of every day. We have a beautiful world. There's a lot of really cool stuff out there. Like you're talking about all the people that you get to meet, and everybody's interesting.
My friend,
And everybody's got a
imagine
different
I'm
perspective.
talking with you and I'm seeing your video, my friend. I'm just enjoying,
Yeah.
and that is for me the important thing. And that's what you have to bring more to the table. Is you see what I did with a small video just from you. I always go to and I make a video from each person who comes here. I make a video from his platforms, just for the people to see who is going to come. That way, everybody knows what they have as passion. And for me, is the most important thing is for us to bring and to know which persons are coming to the live stream. And sometimes the people ask themselves, "Hey, I never see this guy," and that way is opens the door. You understand? And
Yeah.
that what I think. You are a person who is the Bar Miller is a big supporter from you, my friend. I was seeing lots of answering you a lot.
Mhm.
But this way, you've been in lots of festivals. USA has lots of good festivals. I have the pleasure to interview close to all of them. For you, was that a big change going to this events? For me, I call it a festival because I think there is live music. There is so many things inside of the event. I think that is more.
It's definitely got a festival vibe. Yeah, Oak City Shred Fest was the first one that I went to, and it's definitely a festival. There's a race. There's so many. I mean, you had them on an earlier episode. There's so much there, but I think what I actually have an episode. My latest episode of Float Tales is talking about my first journey to Oak City. It was the community, and the hospitality was really big, and just like I didn't know who I was going to run into, and you've got this. At that time, there weren't a whole lot of EUCs out yet, so it was really just like it was a one wheel event, and everybody gathered around this machine and this sport that was just starting and new and fresh, and so we all had that in common, but we all came from totally different backgrounds, and I remember thinking how incredible and beautiful that was, that you could just like pull up a seat and have this one thing in common, and then learn about somebody that's totally coming from a totally different place. And it was incredible. And the hospitality, the friendship, like just building community, very healthy community there in Raleigh, North Carolina. And yeah, I came back home from that and was like, I can't wait for the next one. And Stokebird was one that I like. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Miami in the winter, of course.
That is
why
very
not?
good, my friend. That is very good.
Such a good event down there too. You're right. I mean, there
Okay,
are
that is
so
a different
many.
one. I think in
Very different.
you can say it better than me, but we see that is different. That is different. That is just people having fun in the middle of Miami. How can you describe the difference? It's very different. That is more a right thing that we come together, and the other you have to stay more concentrated in this festival. Miami is you just riding on the streets and lots of crazy people, lots of riders from all over the place with different imaginations.
Yep. Yeah,
How can you
Miami
describe Miami?
is it's not a festival. You know, if I'm gonna call Oak City a festival, Miami's not. Miami is a big extended group ride. You know, it's a combination of a bunch of the different. You've got the local group that's down there that is basically hosting several different group rides, and you know, you get a schedule ahead of time, and it's like, here's where we're meeting. Here's, you know, and it's going to be a 15-mile ride, or it's, you know, so you kind of have an idea of what range you need. And you know, they organize it. They've got places to be able to stop and charge when you need to, and all. It's very well organized. But it's really like you just go down there and you flow for a couple of days, you know, and ride with a bunch of other people, and you mob the streets of Miami. And it's in the middle of winter, and it's 80 degrees down there, you know, like it's a break from the cold and the wet for so many of us. So I mean, it's a 12-hour drive for me. There's people who travel a lot farther than I did. And there's a reason for that. You know, the energy is good. The vibe is good. Everybody's, you know, just, I mean, we got summer, you know, so everybody's happy, you know.
And of course, we have to give a big respect for the organizers, because he's one of the organizers, one of the persons who makes so many pictures, the best pictures we have maybe from the world of One Wheel. We have to thank to him. And he has so much love. I know that he has to make a little stop because he made so much. He has to work so much for the community that now he needs for himself too. And Curry is one person that I have so much respect. He was here already 2 times, and what he do is for the love of the community, and I think he's important. Of course, we have to think about the Float Life Fest is one of the first ones. We are coming now to the 8th year. I think more than 8 years, because it was the 3.1, was the 3 year. We have maybe, I don't know, maybe to close 10 years. And Justin is going to come back again this year. They always come, and I think it's amazing what he's doing for the community, and how big this event's coming now, more and more. Close to you, do you have any event very close to you, or you always have to travel a lot to go to events?
No, so Float Life is going to be my next event, and it's literally like 45 minutes to an hour drive. So it's in our backyard.
You are in paradise, my friend.
It's awesome. When they moved back, so it was in the middle of the United States, you know, and when they moved back to Camp Greer, it was like, let's go. You know, I mean, I was so stoked because I'd never made the journey to the Midwest, and so it was like, now I got them right here. Literally,
that was the beginning. You know, before it was here.
It started in Asheville, which is not far either, and but Camp Greer was actually even closer. And I was just like hoping they'd move back to Asheville, you know. And then they come on this side of Asheville, close to where I am, and I'm like, let's go. And that event, the camp that we're at, is really special because they have. There's a lot of mountain biking trails in the area. And so you've got the mountain biking community, and you've got those trails, and that we've been able to partner with them and create. Camp Greer's allowed us to create one-wheel trails. Mountain bikes hit them, you know, everybody else uses their multi-use, but the trails some of the trails there have been created specifically for one wheels. And, you know, so working with people who are professional trail builders, who are like, okay, what does this need to look like, and how can this best fit and work for a one wheel, which is really cool. I don't know. There's not a lot of places in the world where that's happening. And they're creating new trails for this year. So each year at Float Life Fest, there's more to explore and more to ride, and more that's specifically designed for one wheeling. And that's really cool. It's an awesome event. I went for my first time last year, and was just blown away. So
We
I'm
just
real excited about that one.
we just have to say this. Justin is a experienced person. He has lots of, not just with the events. He has lots of events before the one wheel and everything.
Oh yeah.
And for him is just a normal thing. I have the pleasure to have him here every year, and this year I think he's going to. We contact each other and say, "Oh, good, we have to do in this date." He was very specific in the date because he's going to announce something, and in this time we're going to announce it. The same thing was with the Ozfest. They told me that they're going to have an app, and I think that is amazing to see now that you have something easier for you to find yourself. And I think now the groups, like most of the events, are upgrading, is like a challenge. They are trying the level every year is coming bigger and bigger. It's something in the future that please.
They're learning, from the ones that I've been, exposed to. I mean, in each incident every year, it's like you look back, you evaluate, you get feedback from people, and then you figure out how to make it even better. The app for Shredfest this year at Oak City was amazing. It simplified so much, and I know a lot went into creating that and having it. Now it looks like they've opened it up so that other events can use it as well, which is really an amazing tool. We're constantly growing. Another thing that's really cool about Camp Greer, where Float Life Fest is that the camp itself is doing a summer camp for kids to learn how to one wheel this year, which is awesome. And they're working with One Wheel. I think Bodie's one of the instructors that he's coming to teach it. And just there's a lot of really cool stuff going on right around here locally, which is excellent. So
do you think in the future is something that you're going to do more because you have that experience because of what is your job? Do you think you want to be more present and helping more, be more active with like events, or maybe in the future maybe you're going to maybe create something yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I'm already really interested and have had some really good communication with some of the leadership at the events that they're good friends of mine, the people who are leading these things. And I do have a lot of experience creating events and programs and teaching and all of that stuff. I'm teaching a group of kids how to one wheel right now close by. And so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the future holds, but I'm definitely interested in continuing to explore that and to create and to see what we can do. Like I said before, there's a lot of wonderful things and a lot of wonderful people that are around PEVs and one wheeling, and I am excited to see what we as a community can do with that potential.
Cannot be maybe you as an instructor that how to work with kids, that maybe in the future we can see maybe you having like a school or something like that inside of the events, teaching new kids, new persons comes to the events, because I think this is something that we miss in most of the events. I'm always fighting about that, is for us to have a place that the people have the chance to try it, because most of I don't know if you have that experience like you are teaching now the young people. I don't know if how old they are, is different ages, or the people who are teaching the one wheel now is different ages.
8 and 10 years old, so they're right around that age. They're I know I'm with you 100%. There's a lot of people that run into a wall right off the bat because they do want to just try it, and feel it out. And I know that the group in Raleigh, the Oak City group, has done a couple of local events where, I mean, they've had hundreds of people that have gotten to just try a one wheel. And, you know, now with the summer camp and, you know, in teaching classes for kids and stuff like that, you know, kids are like, I can't do that. And mom and dad are like, you know, where would we start? And, you know, it's just creating a place for them to be able to start, and
Don't you
to
think
learn
that
how to
is,
do it right.
Charlie? But don't you think sometimes it's already the fathers who has they don't have the knowledge, and the first thing they always do is that is not for me. That is dangerous. That
Oh
is
yeah.
always. Don't you think that is what is missing for us? The people are not informed, and that way they are like this. Oh my God! Oh, you are very brave to ride that. Oh, I don't want to try it. And sometimes you see, and I'm always like this when I go to my rides, and I pass in cities, doesn't matter, and there is a couple of persons. They always tell me, "Oh, what is that?" And I always say, "Do you want to try it?" And always the first answer is no, 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 no. And then when they try it, because I push it, when they try it, they say, "Oh, that is not so difficult. Oh, that
Yeah.
is maybe something. Maybe in the future, I is not because I think we always joke here in Europe. I always do this because I'm working in a kitchen and I have lots of kids learning. And when you start to work with a knife, is always this. They are afraid, and I always tell guys, don't forget you have a small box in the back of your brain, and this box is the safe box, and this box is always trying to protect you, and you have to try it. Up the moment you open the box and you see, oh, that is not a mystery, that is easier, and the box is open, you're going to leave it open forever and you're just going to have fun. And that is always the problem from lots of persons. You don't try it, and sometimes you are afraid to try it. And that's why I always tell to all the events here in Europe is growing now very fast. I say, guys, let them try it, be positive. That way we're going to have a biggest community. And don't you think that is something that we are missing maybe in the events, in the rides, in the showing?
Yeah, I mean, it's a growing edge for sure, because the hurdles that are, you know, the price is a thing. So people will say like, I can't spend that much money, but you'll drop it on another sport for your kid, or, you know, mountain biking. You look at all the other things that people, you know, that are in similar categories. It's really not that expensive, and you know, there is the risk, but as humans, we avoid risk, you know, but you know, the reward is really great too. And sometimes we need to learn that we can still take risk. You know, one of the episodes of Float Tales, you know, I'm talking about when I get my first big fall, and you know, just kind of realizing that at, you know, 40 years old, I could fall and get back up and be fine, you know. And it's kind of like you just, when you're a kid, you hop on the bike, you skin up your knee, no big deal, you know, like I'm a kid, I'm bounce right back up. And then we say, as we get older, we can't bounce back up anymore, but we might surprise ourselves too, you know? So there's something in the process of just realizing like, I'm capable of accepting a little bit of risk here, and in the experience, I can do something really great, you know, even if I fall down, I can
100%.
still, you know. So I think, and that's where, you know, I'm like you, I want to just encourage people. Yes, there's a little bit of a risk, but even that is worth it in the reward that you're going to get from trying it and adventuring and doing something that you're really not sure. That doesn't look like something that I could do. That's what people are always saying. I could never do that. And I'm like, I bet you can, you know, I bet you can. But there was a lady down Charlotte, North Carolina is not too far from me either, about an hour away. And the Charlotte crew were out at this park, and they posted a video where a lady that was 90, I think she was 98. I think it was her birthday and she was turning 98. And she wanted to ride a one wheel. and was determined, like, I'm going to try that. And so they helped her. And in this video, you've got a couple of different people that are standing around her, and her daughters are like, "This is a bad idea." No, this is a bad idea. She'll break. But the one wheelers there are helping. They're there to make sure she could do it. She engages the board. They kind of lead her this way, lead her that way, and then she's like, "Okay, I'm done. I did it." And they pick her up, set her down off the board. And she's like, "Next birthday, I'm jumping out of an airplane." Anybody can do it, and it's just you got to pay attention and be more careful, if you really don't want to get hurt. But that experience, yeah, why not? It's just it's so rewarding to be able to say, well, that's something I didn't think I could do, and yes, I can do it.
I think too, my friend. I just want to talk. I just want you to talk a little about this too, that the people don't understand. That is like the coaching, everything, discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little more if the persons would like to come and visit.
Okay. So like my background is in ministry. I've been working in Christian ministry in the Protestant church for. I grew up in the church, and then felt a calling by God to work in youth ministry. And I'm no longer working in a church, but I've started this ministry, which is really Godflow is a coaching ministry where I'm trying to coach. It's kind of like life coaching, but it's discipleship coaching. So I'm trying to help people who are on a faith journey to really lean into that and to discover who they are, who God's creating them to be, and help them to live their best life. And so the podcasts that I have are part of that ministry. There's other
I see it
aspects
directly in the beginning. When you go to the home, you see
Mhm.
directly here. You have it, and I think it's interesting for the people who are interested to go there, and
Yeah.
that way is going to be a good thing for everybody, because I think you having the opportunity, giving the opportunity to the people to know a little more and to understand it. I think that is very nice, and I think most of the people sometimes they are lost and they need a little push.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in that spot, where I just kind of got to where life had lost its luster. It wasn't quite, and something what and I discovered the one wheel, during that time, and I feel like, my goal with this ministry is to meet people. Like, I want to meet you where you're at. And if you have, like, get to know you better, and if there are places where I can nudge you a little bit, encourage you, so that you can just live into your best life, that you can, then I want to be able to help, because it's changed my life, so.
My friend, that is the important thing. That's why I think the broadcast is very important, because that way, what changed you, maybe you can help change others. And that's what we have to do here. Don't forget, we are here today. Tomorrow we never know. The time you are here, try to do the best you can, and that you make you happy. I think that is helping others. Believe me or not, that is something that comes from you. You have to decide it. But doing that actions, believe me, is going to take you to another level. Today I'm here. I don't care if it's 1,000 interviews, but I help lots of people. Sometimes I receive lots of good message, people saying thank you. Not I inspire them, but thank you for that and that and that, or contact me. Can you help me with that? And I feel that, okay, the people don't forget what we are doing. That's why I think you doing that broadcast is going to be in the beginning very difficult for everybody. It's difficult, but with the time you're going to grow, and you're going to have lots of people that is going to understand and listen to you, and you're going to listen to them. And that's the way is life, learning with each other. Don't think that because you are an older person, you have more knowledge than a younger person. We learn so much things with everybody. I can tell you this as a cook. Sometimes comes young cooks that they never do nothing, and they make a food so simple that I said, there's 25 years I work in this job, and why I don't came with this idea. And that's why new ideas is always very good, and you have to be open for them to receive it. When you close all the doors, it's going to be very difficult. That's why I tell to always be positive, enjoy it, and try the best you can. And you are doing very, very good. uh, I want to go now to something that is the love, the one wheel, because we are being too sentimental, and I think that is important for us to know Charlie Brown a little more, the Charlie one wheel. Tell me, what you like more, street or off-road
Ooh,
trails? What you
ooh.
prefer? What is your style of riding that you say, okay, I love to do this?
Man,
Or
I
both?
think it's a hard call because there where we live, our trails are wet a lot of times, so we have to, I've had to figure out how to love
Then you
both.
have
And
to
I
use
do. I
street.
love both. I love riding. Like yesterday, I did
Mhm.
29 miles, and I went to the skate park and I rode the streets, and I popped through parts of our trails. I absolutely come off of a trail day, and I'm like, I love trail. It pushes me. I'm doing things that I look at these features and stuff, and I'm like, that's impossible. Like, I don't know how I'm going to get through that. And sometimes you got to try it one or two times. So I'm failing a lot more in the trails. When you fail on the streets, it's kind of like it hurts. It's really bad. And so, not that it doesn't hurt when you fail on the trails, but you know what I mean.
Mhm.
The speed and everything is a little bit more intense. But I love it all. If I'm riding on the street all day and doing pavement and cruising through the city,
Do you
at the
like
end of it,
trick
I'm
a
like, I'm
lot
so
too,
glad
I
I
think?
did that too. So.
You are a person who likes lots of tricks, and playing with your one wheel is something
Yeah,
that
I'm
I
not
see
good
in your
at it, but I
videos.
love it. Yeah.
My
I
friend,
want to keep seeing what I can do.
the important thing, you do it the way you can. My friend,
Right.
we are not machines, we are human. And that's the important thing. You try it, and you enjoy it, what you are doing. uh,
Yes.
the other question is, I stop by the events and the festivals. When you go especially to these events or festivals, there's something that call you more than other, or you are more, I don't care, I just want to be here in this party? Or there is something that you prefer to see more, like tricks, or more having no more new persons, new riders, new styles, going to see the race? Do you race yourself? uh Tell us a little,
I,
how is your life when you are in so event?
I'm there to soak it all up. That's what I'll say. So like that first time at Oak City, I did race. Like I was just like, I'm a race. I'm gonna do it all. You know, I one of the funny things, people still talk about it, but like for the first 2 years that I rode barefoot. And so when I showed up at Oak City, I was barefoot like the whole time, even when I was racing. And people thought that was nuts. Um, but I mean, that was the way that was my ride. That's how I did it at the time. And I can say that since then I've grown up and matured and decided to put on shoes, and it's probably a lot more responsible. But the uh, the whole thing about all of these experiences, this is the same thing I would encourage somebody who's new. If you're going to an event for your first time, it's that event and you've never been before, is to go into it with like the least amount of expectations. You know, just go and be ready to embrace and soak up whatever you experience, and be ready to be surprised, in good ways. And you're going to have the best time ever. So, you can't, a lot of these events, you can't hit everything, you can't do everything. That's okay. Just go and be ready to receive, and soak up whatever, is there. Um, you won't be
I just
disappointed.
want I just want to show this. I think that is important for us to see. Is this inspiration for you?
That's my family. So like I
Uh-huh.
started out, it was just me, and I've got I have 5 nephews, so that was my
Hmm.
brother in the other adult in the picture, and some of my nephews, and yeah, I mean everybody's riding. I have a sister, she's riding. My like everybody except my parents. My parents aren't doing it. They're a little too concerned about getting broken at their age, but we
But
are
you
all out
push
there
all
riding.
of them to come to the One Wheel world. Was you who pushed
Yeah, oh
them?
yeah. Yeah. They and I didn't even push that hard. They just saw me, they saw how much I loved it. It's kind of like, and I every now and then I'd be like, "You want to try it, don't you? You want to try it, don't you?" With the kids, I mean, they were ready. When my two youngest nephews are just now 5, and they both have the best balance on the board that you could imagine, because they've been on it. They've been on a board. They've been standing on flight fins, and riding with us since they were 2. And they're both still at this place where they're not sure they don't have enough self-confidence to really let go and just go, but they'll get there. But they love hopping on the boards just like everybody else. So
It's beautiful for me to see you bring your family, the kids. I think kids are very important for all of us,
yeah.
and it's not easy for us to uh, have the chance to have the family in something that you love. I think that is very positive for all of us, because that way bring us more together. uh,
Yeah.
uh, and I hope that more families do that. uh, that way we can share maybe similar loves, and that way we can come more times together. I think that you have a very good energy. You have a fantastic family, and I would love to see you more and more riding. I think is important for all of us. I hope that your podcast comes bigger. I think it's important for all of us. We need more persons to do that, because the community is not so big, and I think you can be a voice for all of us. Uh, you've been in Prague or something. You have a nice cap.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
went to
see.
Prague.
I was
There
like,
you go.
"Hey, wait a minute! I know
Hello.
that cap."
Yeah, this is like my favorite coffee mug here. So
I was like, eh? That is Prague. Just that we are talking about that, do you know in Europe, one of the great teams of organizers of PVs in Europe, they are from Czech Republic. They
oh
are the
yeah,
guys who are
cool.
organizing the biggest events here in Europe. And I think there are maybe the community who bring more riders. I was with about 2 days ago. Again talking with them, because now they have the program for this year, and they are trying to make it all around Europe. And Prague is so beautiful, because you
Hmm.
can ride your PVs. I don't know if you know, Charlie, but in Europe, most of the countries, lots of countries, is illegal to ride the PVs. So Prague is no problem. Czech Republic is wonderful to you to ride the
Cool.
PVs. There's the guys who are delivering pizza in a AUC.
That's awesome.
That is just the first time I was there, and I see a guy with the AUC taking, bringing the pizzas for everybody, and I think that is the future. Uh, Before we go, my friend, I know that we have lots of talk, but I don't like to make this video so big, because I think it's
Yeah.
important for the people to understand a little more about you. I'm going to leave all the links. The only thing is not there is the Facebook and
Okay.
the YouTube channel. I'm going to put it later on for everybody to go there and subscribe and follow you. I hope that your podcast comes more. When you start to push it more, send me always links that I can put in my medias to help you pushing. When you have interviews, put me. I'm always the first person to try to bring the channels to the top. I think it's important for all of us as riders. Before we go to the end, and I give you the last words, like always, for the community, I want to show something very important. So the next interviews is going to be tomorrow. We're going to have 2 interviews. We're going to have this lady. She is a very good one in AUC, and she is very, very good. And then, because we changed the hour, like you, because sometimes the people has to work, and we have going to have the other person. This lady is one of the big names of the One Wheel world.
Yep.
The smile from her is, you cannot. She and the boyfriend, they are too addictive to the One Wheel. She was
Yeah.
one of the persons who came to the channel here in the beginning, I think when 24 interview, and she was one of the persons who helped a lot this channel to grow, because she understands that is for the community. And I'm going to have her again tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be 2 interviews. One is going to make for another lady, and the second one I'm going to do it. And then, like always, I just want to share to all of you, we're going to have another interview. She is from Argentina, and she's pushing now the sport in Argentina with the father from her. She race too. She has the sport from his father, and I
Cool.
think that is beautiful to see that the family is supporting her to race. She studied. She has to do it in a Saturday because she's studying in a week. That way, Saturday we're going to have her here. She can speak very good English, and she's going to talk a little more for the young kids who are starting more in this sport and for the future. I think that is going to be a very nice interview, and
Love
that's
that.
what
Yeah.
we want to make this more and more and more. But I cannot put more persons here in the interviews. I already told to everybody we have to end of July everything reserved. Don't try to contact me. We are completely booked. We have 3 days in a week. Sometimes we have 4, and that is more than enough. For you, my friend, I want to say this. I love persons who inspire. I think you are a person who can inspire, feel a lot of persons. Don't stop doing. The road is always in the beginning very difficult, but you know that.
Mhm.
But I think you are going in the right direction. First, you are doing what you love. That is the most important. If you don't do it with love, I always tell it, give up, try another thing. But if you are doing something with love, do it. Don't stop. In the beginning, it's going to be very difficult, but believe me, later on, you're going to say, that was the best thing I did in my life. And the people is going to take care of you like you're going to take care of them. I'm very happy that you came here. I bring you here without knowing that you have a podcast. I bring you here just as a rider, and I prefer sometimes not to search everything, because I like to be surprised about
Yeah.
the people I bring here. Because if here is nothing planned, we never talked before, the two of us, like I always do to the other riders. But I think you are a very special person, and the community have to be very happy to have you there. And don't stop doing what you are doing, my friend. You going to see the rewards in the future, and for me, it's going to be a pleasure to see you growing and bringing this community to the top. Maybe you're going to be one of the best broadcasts. We never know. That
You
is the
never know.
important thing. My friend, I leave you with the last
Yeah.
words for the people who come to see the video now, or going to later on is going to see the video. I leave you with the last message for everybody.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for having me here today. It's been great talking with you, and I really appreciate the encouragement. And for everybody that's listening, I just want to encourage you. You know, a lot of our talk today has been about finding that adventure in life and going after it, not not wasting a day. And so, whatever it is, that, if you're in that place where you're like, I feel a nudge, like I need a little bit extra, whether it's the One Wheel, EUC, NEPV, or maybe it's something totally different, just find a way to do something that you think might be a little bit outside of your comfort zone, that may have a little bit of risk, that may really surprise you, because we're all capable of doing really great stuff, and we've only got one life to live. So let's make it great.
Yes, my friend. Thank you so much, my friend, for everything we have. I just want to say two other things. You are out there. Don't forget that this sport is growing every day. Today we have a beautiful lady from Russian that she make the first uh, uh, what's the name? Work flip.
Oh yeah.
Let me. Yeah, and I think that is, and she is a fantastic rider, and we have to tell to everybody, just the sport is for everybody. If you are out there and you know there is this beautiful lady, she did it today,
Wow.
and we have to congratulate all.
That's awesome.
But you have to think how many times she tried, how much
Mhm.
effort, and I think it's important. Go to the channel from her, give her a big surprise, say thank you so much. She has helped to change this sport. We need more persons showing that this sport we can go to maybe Olympians, or maybe we can do it as a radical sport. Uh, we are going in the right direction. Thank you for this beautiful lady to do that. She showed lots of courage. Was I know that was not an easy road, but she achieved it, and she deserved all the credits from
That's
everybody out there.
amazing. That's so cool.
Yeah, my friend, that was amazing. Okay, guys, and 1, 2, let's go.